Hey guys, I hope you're okay. I hope that you're having fun. Um, I hope that you remember that today is not a live class until Wednesday. You are going to have exams from next week on, and the reviews are from Wednesday on. So live class is on Wednesday. Monday and Tuesday is gonna be video classes so we can finish the topics prior to your exam. So I hope that you are okay with this. I hope that you have finished all the classworks. Remember that today is the last day that you have to send your classworks in the platform, and if you don't send them, you're losing 20 points plus the 10 that you probably lost, or if you send them you have, then so far we have 30 points only in classworks. So you better send them because that's a you work. Okay, so today we're going to continue the magic finger. We are going to start in page number 9. I know that we started reading this the other day in our live class, but I wanted to review it for the people that didn't do it. And also we are going to start with the questions from question number 10 on. Okay, so today we are going to start the questions from 10 on. Okay, ready? Remember, if you don't have the questions, go to the prior classes. All the questions are in there, and the videos that are posted about the live classes that we have had every Monday. Okay, please, this is the answer. If you ask me, where are the other questions? The other questions are on the other videos that you're supposed to be watching with the schedule. That's where the questions are. Go watch them so you can find them. Okay. So in your notebook, because this is a class where we have to write in our notebooks, we are going to write the date. So we are going to write in our notebooks, reading, 4th grade, today is Monday, the 13th. Oh wait, the 13th? Yeah, Monday, no, the 12th. Okay, Monday, October 12th, 2020. And then we're gonna write in there magic finger, or the magic finger, pages 9 on. Okay, probably we are going to read 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Let's do 5 pages. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so we have in here reading 4th grade. Today is Monday, October the 12th, 2020. The magic finger, pages 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. And remember that we also have questions. So as much as these are the last classes before your exam, they're going to be a little longer than before. So we can work along them, okay? Let's do this. Page 9. As you can remember, the girl threw the magic finger at them because they were being very bad, and they killed a ton of ducks and a ton of gooses and geese, a ton of geese. Yeah, geese. They were killing geese and ducks. Okay, so as we can see in page number 9, we can see that in the scene we see night, and then Mr. Greg is outside, and then we see, oh, actually I have the book, I can show you. So we can see that it's night, and then Mr. Greg is outside, and then he is very worried because he is being chased. Let's continue. Late that night, after Philip and William had gone to bed, Mr. Greg went outside to get some wood for the fire. Sorry. He was crossing the yard when all at once he heard the call of a wild duck in the sky. I don't know how dogs do. He stopped and looked up. The night was very still. There was a thin yellow moon over the trees on the hill, and the sky was filled with stars. Then Mr. Greg heard the noise of wings flying low over his head, and he saw 4 ducks, dark against the night sky, flying very close together. They were going around and around in the house. So what he could see were the 4 ducks flying on top of the house constantly, and he was afraid of why these ducks were flying around. Mr. Greg forgot about the firewood and hurried back indoors. He was now quite afraid. He did not like what was going on, but he said nothing about it to Mrs. Greg. All he said was, "Come on, let's go to bed. I feel tired." So they went to bed and sleep. So he should have said something to his wife, because she would have understood what was going on, and she would have women are usually more worried for things because they know better. So maybe she would have, I don't know, noticed something, asked something, but he said nothing to his wife. Let's see what's gonna happen the next morning. When morning came, Mr. Greg was the first to wake up. He opened his eyes. He was about to put off a hand for his watch to see the time, but his hand wouldn't come out. He was in bed, so he wanted for his hand to come out, but he couldn't. Wait, I need this to focus. Yeah. He was about to put up a hand for his watch to see the time, but his hand wouldn't come out. "That's funny," he said. "Where is my hand?" He lay still, wondering what was up. Maybe he had hurt that hand in some way. He tried the other hand. That wouldn't come either. No hand was coming out. He sat up. Then, for the first time, he saw what he looked like. He gave a yell and jumped out of bed. Mrs. Greg woke up, and when she saw Mr. Greg standing there on the floor, she gave a yell too. "Oh no!" For he was now a tiny little man. He was very small. Maybe he was as tall as the seat of a chair, but no taller than that. And where his arms had been, he had a pair of dog wings instead. So as you can see, he was very afraid because he had no arms or hands. What he had was a pair of flapping wings. And his wife in there was looking at him like, "What happened to you? Why are you so small?" But, cried Mrs. Greg, going purple on the face. "My dear man, what's happened to you?" "What happened to both of us, you mean?" shouted Mr. Greg. It was Mrs. Greg's turn now to jump out of bed, and she was horrendous. She couldn't even look at the window. She ran to look at herself in the glass, but she was not tall enough to see into it. She was even smaller than Mr. Greg, and she too had got wings instead of arms. Oh, sobbed Mrs. Greg, because she was not no human anymore, and she was super small. "This is witch's work," cried Mr. Greg, and both of them started running around the room flapping their wings. A minute later, Philip and William burst in. The same thing happened to them. They had wings and no arms. And they were really tiny. They were about as big as robins. Robins are very small birds. "Mama, Mama, Mama!" cheered up Philip. "Look, Mama, we can fly!" And they flew up in the air. "Come down at once," said Mrs. Greg. "You're too much high." But before she could say another word, Philip and William had flown right off the window. So as you can see, Philip and William were flying because they no longer had wings. They were flying because they had no longer arms. They were flying because they had wings. And they had no hands. They had wings. So there's a lot of new things they could do, but you will realize very soon that there's a ton of things they cannot do. So they flew out of the window, as you can see, and then the parents were very worried. Mr. and Mrs. Gregg ran to the window and looked out. The two tiny boys were now high up in the sky. Then Mrs. Gregg said to Mr. Gregg, "Do you think we could do that, my dear?" She wanted to fly and catch their kids. "I don't see why not," Mr. Gregg said. "Come on, let's try." Mr. Gregg began to flap his wings hard, and all at once up he went. Then Mrs. Gregg did the same. "Help!" she cried as she started going up. "Save me!" "Come on," Mr. Gregg said. "Don't be afraid," because now she was flying up and down, but she was afraid. So out the window they flew far up in the sky. And it did not take them too long to catch up with Philip and William. Soon the whole family was flying around. Can you imagine flying? That's exciting. And around together. "Oh, isn't it lovely?" cried William. "I've always wanted to know what it feels like to be a bird." "Your wings are not getting tired, are they, dear?" Mr. Gregg asked Mrs. Gregg. "Not at all," Mrs. Gregg said. "I could go on forever." "Hey, look down there," said Philip. "Something is walking in our garden." So as they were flying up in the sky, as you can see, all of them were flying up and down, they saw that something was going on down there. They all looked down, and there below them in their own garden, they saw 4 enormous wild dogs. The dogs were as big as men, and what is more, they had great long arms like men instead of wings. The dogs were walking in a line to the door of the Gregg's house, swinging their arms up, holding their beaks high in the air. So these dogs were very strange because they were big as a man. Can you imagine a pig that is as tall as I am, but instead of having wings, they have arms? These dogs, they had even little hands. Can you imagine dogs having hands? And they have suitcases because they were moving in with the Greggs. "Stop!" called the tiny Mr. Gregg, flying down over their heads. "Go away! That's my house!" The dogs looked up and quacked. "Quack, quack, quack!" The first one put out a hand and opened the door of the house and went in. Oh no, the dogs were inside the house. The others went in after him, and the door shut. So as you can see, they were getting in the house, but the Greggs were very afraid because that wasn't something normal. The Greggs flew down and sat on the wall near the door. Mrs. Gregg began to cry. "Oh dear, oh dear," she sobbed. "They have taken our house. What shall we do? We have no place to go." Even the boys began to cry a bit now. So as you can see, all of them are crying little tears because they don't have a house anymore because the dogs have taken over the house. "We will be eaten by cats and foxes in the night," said Philip. "I want to sleep in my own bed," said William. "Now then," said Mr. Gregg, "it isn't any good crying. That won't help us all. Shall I tell you what we are going to do?" "What?" they said. Mr. Gregg looked at them and smiled. "We are going to build a nest." A nest, it's a little kind of like a basket made with leaves and branches. That's where birds live. "A nest?" they said. "Can we do that?" "We must do it," said Mr. Gregg. "We got to go somewhere to sleep. Follow me." They flew off to a tall tree, and right at the top of it, Mr. Gregg chose the place for the nest. So as you can see, they flew. This is them flying. They flew very high, and then Mr. Gregg has chosen the tallest part of the tree so they could live in there. Last page. "Now we want sticks," he said. Lots of little sticks. Off you go, all of you, and find them and bring them back here." "But we have no hands," said Philip. "Then use your mouths." "Oh, picking up something from the floor with my mouth?" Mrs. Gregg and the children flew off. Soon they were back carrying sticks in their mouths. Mr. Gregg took the sticks and started to build the nest. More, he said. Can you imagine? Let's imagine that this pen is a stick. So they had to pick everything from the floor like this. And then put it back. And then and then put it back because they had no hands so they could pick up stuff. Mr. Gregg took the sticks and started to build the nest. More, he said. I want more and more and more sticks. Keep going. The nest began to grow. Mr. Gregg was very good at making the sticks stick together. So as you can see in here, they were flying with the sticks in their mouths because they had no hands. And it was difficult for them, but Mr. Gregg was really good at building the nest. Everybody was helping with the sticks, but he wanted more and more and more because he wanted to build the best house ever. Okay. So now let's start with the questions, okay? So in your notebooks, you are gonna write the question. If you don't understand the question, you can always activate the subtitles in the corner. I don't know which corner, but it says CC, closed caption, so you can see the questions. And I'm gonna be discussing the answers that you have to write in there, okay? Remember that we are writing answers with complete sentences, so you have to answer everything like I'm saying, or you're not gonna have all the points. Remember that all of this should be written in your notebook because it's the last part of your cumulatives. And if you don't have it, you're gonna lose a lot of points you're gonna lose, okay? So you need to finish. Let's do this. Question number, we're gonna start again. So I know that some of you already had question 10, but we are going to start again. So we are going to write in there question 10. I know some of you have it, but you're gonna write it anywhere. Anyway, question number 10. Okay, ready? Question 10. How many dogs? How many? It doesn't matter. Write 10 again. Again, 10. How many dogs? D-U-C-K-S. How many dogs? No dogs. Ruff. No. Quack, quack. Dogs. How many dogs were following Mr. Gregg? How many dogs were following Mr. Gregg? And then that can be written with a pen in cursive if you can, and with a pencil in print you can answer the question. So you can write how many? Well, you can see the number of dogs in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can write Mr. Gregg was being followed. That's the answer. Mr. Gregg was being followed by dogs. That's number 10. Okay? Number 11. What happened to the Greggs? If you think that I'm going too fast, pause the video, rewind it, and write, okay? What happened to the Greggs at night? What happened to the Greggs at night? Period. That's the question with a pen. Answer with a pencil, okay? So you can write as an answer. The Greggs lost their arms. That's the answer. The Greggs lost their arms for wings. The Greggs lost their arms for wings. And they became, remember we did that word the other day, became very small. And they became very small. You can always rewind the video if you didn't catch that one. Number 12. How was Mr. and Mrs. Gregg feeling? Number 12. How was Mr. and Mrs. Gregg feeling? How was Mr. and Mrs. Gregg feeling? That's your question. Now you answer. Mr. and Mrs. Greg were feeling scared, afraid, sad. Right? How do you think that they were feeling? Number 13. Okay? How were Philip and William feeling? How were Philip and William feeling? How they were feeling, because they were turning to little humans with wings. How were Philip and William feeling? That would be your question. Now your answer. They were feeling afraid. Afraid? No, they were feeling happy and excited. They were feeling happy and excited. Number 14. Who has taken the Greg's house? Who has taken the Greg's house? So you can write in there. The Greg's house was taken by 4 dogs as an answer. The Greg's house was taken by 4 dogs. Number 15. Number 15. Ready? Why are these dogs special? Why are these dogs special? Now, you should remember that they don't speak, right? So they're not that special. But there's something that is very special about them, is the fact that they have and okay? So remember, humans have arms and hands, but no dogs. So you can write in there in the answer. These dogs are special because they have and also because they are very big like a human. They are very big like a human. Excellent. Number 16. Why are the Gregs crying? Why are the Gregs crying? Why are the Gregs crying? You can write in the answer with a pencil. The Gregs are crying because they don't have a house. The Gregs are crying because they don't have a house. Number 17. Why the Gregs have sticks in their mouth? Why the Gregs have sticks in their mouth? Answer with a pencil. The Gregs have sticks on their mouth because they're making a nest. The Gregs, that's the complete answer. No complete answers, no complete points, okay? The Gregs have sticks on their mouth because they are making a nest, okay? And that's it for today. Today we have explored 7 questions from 10 to 17. So we have explored a lot of questions. Remember to copy all these questions in your notebook because I'm going to need these questions to be sent on Friday with the rest of your cumulatives. And that's going to be the last classwork of the week. But this should be done in your notebook. If you have any question, rewind the video, listen to it again, copy the complete sentences so you can have the complete points, and I'll see you tomorrow in another video and Wednesday in a live class, okay? See you guys. Bye. Remember the questions in the notebook, because then there's some people asking, Mister, what are we supposed to do? I just told you. Questions in the notebook. Bye, guys.